back, Juventinita to the Juventinita, back to Black and White Podcast. My name's Daniel Anegro, and I'm live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And today, well, we have no games to cover. It's the international break. Italy just played in a friendly against Estonia, whooped their ass, and Juve's been, the usual. What can I say? I've said enough. We've gotten down to the nitty gritty. We got ourselves banned. We got ourselves back. And guys, I mean, look, a lot of people have been talking, and I think it's been good. It's good to hear your guys' opinions. And to me, it's, this assumption that, I needed to have this unbiased podcast. Sure. I mean, if you guys want to make your own podcast and you want to speak unbiased, it's kind of funny because when we talk about being unbiased, that doesn't mean sitting on Ronaldo's lap for 24/7. So that's one thing to take into consideration. But hey, if you guys want to be here, if you're still here, I'm happy to have you. Again, I want to thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for listening, for tuning in. The numbers are just skyrocketing. Whether people are not liking it or not, the views are there, and the consistency, we're getting people to watch, so that's what makes me happy. And I hope to include whoever wants to come on. And if you do have an opinion and you don't think that I'm playing it the right way, come on the show. Like I know there was a comment recently just that said there was their first podcast, and to judge someone based on what was an hour and change. I mean, maybe listen to what the guy said in the past. Maybe he's not just it was a heated moment. I wasn't happy. I think our fans were, and I think our fans are still playing to this tune of a hate on Dybala, and people want to talk about agendas against Ronaldo. Well, I'm not gonna say when I was mentioning Ronaldo's mistakes that I was doing it on purpose, because literally that's what I hear day in, day out about Dybala or certain players. And I find that the majority of Twitter is now reduced to, okay, let's find how the team fucked up. And that's what our main talking points are going to be today. That's just not how it works. So, I mean, if we got to look at the team, we got to look at it as a whole, how we can improve. And to me, that's all it should be. So again, without further ado, we'll bring on a returning guest. Max, welcome back. I appreciate you coming on from Hamilton, a fellow Canadian. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back. Thank you.
Alrighty. So I've kind of said, like I said, I've said my piece over a couple podcasts now. I think we'll just get right into it. And how have you been? How have you been enjoying this season so far? We're halfway through the group stage. We're about 7 games into the Serie A. We sit. We don't sit. We're not at the top of the table. We were lucky that, and we'll get into kind of the Napoli decision. But give us your take so far. I know there's not much to talk about. There's a lot of bullshit rumors going around, and I'd like to hear how you think Juve's progressed so far.
Well, from the, I would say, optimism of the first game against Sampdoria, everything seemed to be like, oh yeah, we all had reason to kind of believe like things were gonna get better compared to the last 2 seasons, I would say, with Allegri, with Sarri. Okay, but obviously, they only have 2 wins now, two wins, like official, actual wins, and not right.
Depends on what you consider. Yeah, exactly. Depends on what you consider as a win.
It's 2 wins, like on the field, 2 wins on the field, and it's from like my opinion, it's not acceptable. Anything that like Pirlo intended on playing, what he was saying, the press, all this, blah blah blah, not there.
Yeah.
Just the feeling with the formations, nothing has really fallen into place, and I feel like there's really little to be hopeful about. I don't know. I can't see things changing.
Yeah.
Drastically. I don't know. I don't
So what
know.
do you think about the formation? Do you like playing at 3 at the back, or
No,
how do you want to see this team lined up? I've obviously been vocal about how I'd like to see it, but I don't think we
I
work well.
I don't think they have the players
Yeah,
for three at the back. And you can't be using Quadrado. You can't, like, for about as good as he's been. Like, I think he's been average. I mean, like, you don't hear his name a lot, and I think that's a good thing,
right.
right? Because it's not mistakes. Um, so like they don't have those. They don't have that wing play. They don't have those wingers. Just or the wing backs. Sorry, not the wingers, but I don't know. I think trying maybe 4-4-3-3 or
Yeah,
something along those lines. Throw Dybala up front, maybe give him some more time because obviously coming back from COVID or whatever gastrointestinal issue he had, obviously he's not 100%. So like,
right.
fuck, give him. Sorry,
You can
frig, give
swear.
him time.
You can
I
swear.
know,
Don't
I
worry
know,
about
I know, but yeah.
Well, so what did you think? Was I
Just
on
like
point? Did I go too far? Like, I want your
no,
opinion
no,
of
no.
what
Like
happened.
it just no. But it's kind of unfair to throw that much heat at at Dybala. Like think of the past. The past. Like what about the past? What about the history? What about what he did last season after the break? Like he pretty much carried. Yeah, I would say he pretty much carried Juve to that Scudetto. So be grateful and know that he's gonna get better. He's gonna get back into the swing of things. Just like yeah, I don't know like why there's such backlash. I think people are they're looking for a target, right?
Yeah.
Um, like a whipping boy, and
Well,
it's
exactly,
Dybala.
exactly. And I think for me, it's like I explained before. Like I don't know if there's this false like people somehow think that one, I like to play with Ronaldo fans because they're easy. They're easy to target and they're easy to, literally soak up anything, and they wait for these moments where Ronaldo's doing really well or he scores a goal and then they all come at you.
Mm.
But when, like I said, I posted something today. I don't know if because they're aware that they're going to get blocked if they come into my mentions, but literally today there was about a post 12 likes strong. Ronaldo just inexistent against France. No chirps, no nothing. So where are you guys all at?
Crickets, just
Where you guys
crickets.
all at? So to
Mm.
me, like I said, I have I have not said Dybala has played well at all. I don't know where that came across, but I understand why he hasn't played well. I mean, there's an understanding of where he's coming from. To discount being the MVP last year, to just throw that all away, and for everyone to act like
Mm-hmm.
basing off of what 6 games, like really,
Yeah,
that's now what we've boiled it all down to these 6 games.
that's it. That's all he is. Dybala in the last 6 games. That's it. That's
And
the data we need to base his contract,
yeah.
right? Just those 6 games,
So I just
nothing
thought it was
else.
I thought it was funny. I think the fans needed a little bit of a, and whether that happened or not, I mean, I've still seen guys on that same agenda. I mean, just look in the mirror. Before you tell me I got an agenda on Ronaldo, which again, I've shown my displeasure. I've also shown when he's done well. I mean, that's pretty clear for me. I think we're way too dependent on Ronaldo, though.
Yeah.
The team is not going to win if it's just based off of Ronaldo scoring goals.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty obvious. I mean, if you can't see that and you're thinking, oh well, uh, he's scoring. Why you give him shit? I mean, well, there's moments where he isn't scoring. So if we're gonna give a guy 31 million, and you're gonna complain about a guy who's making what, like 7-6 million? What is Dybala making? 10, maybe 8? I don't know. Whatever it is now, but
Like a third. We'll just say a
yeah,
third of
like
like.
so you're all of a sudden placing a knock out of bounds, but all the chances that weren't paid, what from essentially what he's paid to do, that's not applicable. So guys, let's look at it all ways. You want to nitpick at one, let's nitpick at all. I don't see. And people are like, well, you're blaming guys for one mistake. It's like, yeah, 6 people let the guy go through them
He
and
just walked
give the
down
ball
in.
to Caicedo. Like how is that not their fault? I mean, I can't see it. And happy birthday to Dybala. He turns 27, just like me. We're on the rise together. And yeah, it's like I would hate for us to give up on the guy because of our finances and for us to really regret it because we're not getting anything for Ronaldo. And I mean, unless it happens next year, we're not getting shit for Ronaldo. He'll walk after 4 years. And all
What
of
would
a
they even
sudden,
get?
yeah. And then people were talking about, well, will he resign? I'm like, okay, we go through this year and we don't win Champions League. Do you honestly think he's going to be like, oh, yeah, guys, I'm going to play for 4 years? Or do you think he's going to be like, if he goes out at the end of his contract and we don't bring anyone really else in and 4 years go by, 0 Champions League, 0 finals, you think he's going to be like, oh, yeah, guys, I'm going to lock in for another 3 years? Like, and if he does, then really he's just desperate for that paycheck is what it is.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So
his ego won't allow him. He's gone. He's gone after this year. I feel
there you
go. He'll demand out or something, right? He's got one more year, right?
Yeah, it'll be one after this year.
Yeah, he's gone.
So really, if you're not getting anything, if he's in that, maybe in the winter, maybe if you can strike a deal before the winter, like kind of like preemptively, but if that doesn't happen, there's no way he's getting anything. So really, your only chance is this summer. Or I mean, I'd be pretty shocked if they sold him this winter. But yeah, the summer is really where it's gonna all come down to, and it's gonna depend on how we finish out, right? So let's get right into the news. Culture Mercato, again, grain of salt. I don't think these guys are anywhere near as accurate as I would like them to be. But again, Phil Foden from Man City, apparently we're interested in. Whatever, take it with a grain of salt. They've also talking about Locatelli as well. And they're talking about a very expensive loan. I don't know why Sassuolo would do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you're going to ask for the fee. Unless we're giving something back, there's no reason that Locatelli can't go to another club. So, I mean, that's why I was shocked with the Chiesa deal. So hopefully we can pull something else out of our ass. But it would make no sense for me to be like, okay, we have a player who's on form, whether you like the guy or you don't like him, to be in the midfield, to be like, yeah, we're going to give you a very good loan and we'll pay you whatever that may be over the next several years. It doesn't make sense. I don't know if you've heard the report that a lot of clubs, I've been pretty vocal about the, politics and stuff like that. And we won't touch that on this episode, but a lot of, believe it was like 15 out of 20 clubs are facing very, very poor, financial situations. And what does that mean? Does that mean if this doesn't turn around, we're going to see some bankruptcies happen? I don't know. But a lot of these players are going to have to get paid, right? So maybe that's what we can hold over them. But that's pretty scary just to hear that out loud. So Locatelli, I think he's done really well. I don't know what it is about the guy. Maybe it's his Milan history. Just keeps coming to my head. But I don't know why. I just don't feel strongly about this kid. But I mean, if it happens, I'll support it. But I don't know what it is. What are your thoughts on Locatelli?
I think, why not? I mean, Pirlo was a Milanista.
True enough,
right? Like when Pirlo, they're obviously, Pirlo is a different league. Don't get me wrong, but like in terms of having that like resentment towards a player who has like a Milan history, no. Bonucci is an Inter. Wasn't he an Inter prospect?
Yeah, that is true.
Or no, not a prospect, a youth product. But I don't know. Where do you go? Bari and then.
Yeah.
So no, he's he's solid. Probably this summer or this past summer was the time to maybe pull the trigger on that, I guess. Why not? Right,
Well,
but
according to Gazzetta, that's kind of who he wanted this summer, him and Dzeko. But the club obviously didn't bring either of them in. We'll have to wait and see on that, guys. Again, take it with a grain. You know what these international breaks bring is, bullshit rumors and injuries. That's about it.
yep, yep, yep.
I
Just
mean, it would be
the
nice
news
for
cycle.
it would be nice for Italy to win tomorrow, and I'm probably going to be covering that. Hopefully, we can line up some guests. Uh, I hope that I'm looking forward to. So we'll see what happens if they win. Then they have a really good chance as they play Bosnia on the road on Wednesday, I want to say. So we'll see what happens. They can get into a final kind of tournament. That would be nice, but again, there's not really much to talk about, to be honest. I mean, these are all premature as well. We don't know who's going to be fit at the end of the year, who's going to be in the Euro squad, stuff like that. So there's lots of time to really discuss that kind of action. And I think comprehensively we'll get there at some point. And I like to cover the Euro because now that I have this platform, we can actually get some interesting things going. So we'll wait. We'll wait for then. Estonia again, not a great team that Italy came up against. So the 4-0 win is not surprising. It's nice to see because it's some kind of a change from the past. But again, it's I remember we had Estonia in the qualifying years back, and I think that team was a lot better than what we faced recently. So we'll see what happens there. More news on, I guess, national team break. Well, Ronaldo did walk off, but he also regularly trained with the Portuguese national team, and I guess they gave him some steroids or something. I don't know. Literally, I just this whole international break's been a really big thorn in my side, and we even saw in that first game, I believe they played Andorra. No, I don't believe they did play Andorra because I've been, chatting enough shit to remember. And literally, the guy goes up and he's going like 100% in this game. Like he goes up for a header, like it's like we're playing Lyon.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, relax. Like you're gonna get hurt. So he scores 1 goal out of 7, gets this record. Now, I know lots of people were tweeting because, Buffon posted, oh, congratulations. Buffon, don't be congratulating nothing yet. He hasn't brought us the Champions League. I don't give a shit he's got fucking 746 goals for Portugal. That doesn't mean shit. Okay? Like, literally, he scored against Andorra and did essentially nothing today. And, like, I don't know what what this whole fanfare was. I think the players should have been smarter than that. I think the inclination was that the reason why he was going to Portugal to see the trainers was because he wanted to play. It wasn't because that the Portuguese doctors are better than the Italian doctors. It's because he wanted to play. You don't go to Portugal, and which he could have easily sat out, and I think he should have sat out. He doesn't need to. He had COVID. What's the point of risking, any other type of injury? So he's there. Whatever, that's fine. He's going to play now. He's going to play these meaningless games, and that's it. I mean, hopefully he doesn't pick up a knock, right? That's all you can hope for. So we get that. Obviously, there was some other bad news with Rabiot. He picked up a muscular injury, and he didn't train. And they thought he was going to miss the game against Finland. But he obviously played today against Portugal, and he actually played really well today against Portugal. A lot of praise on Twitter, and I obviously didn't watch the game personally, but from what everyone was hyping on about, it seemed like he had done pretty well against a pretty big team, right? So that's good. That's good news for us. Something just briefly to bring up. Well, something that's like we talked about. Is it really 3 wins or is it 2 wins? Well, we can confirm that the committee, the judge had confirmed that we get the 3-0 win, and they have their -1, and like we all predicted all long enough, and you guys are gonna see some content about IFTV and how well, I mean, you'll see kind of how they kind of downplayed, and this is what pisses me off about social media. We all get on these narratives. There's these certain groups getting on these narratives real quickly, and like, why was Juve, why are you getting mad at Ronaldo? Why is Juve, wanting to play this game? And then at the end of the day, it all comes out. Like we were the kicking, we were the punching bag for everybody throughout this whole case. And the judge comes out, and this was kind of the best line that you can sum it up. Napoli was looking for an excuse not to play days before the game. So at the end of the day, there's nothing really more you can say. It is what it is. You can't really, I mean, all the Napoli talking heads, and I know Sansone was like, I can't remember what I said, but I posted something, and he's like, he posted below, and I'm like, sorry, bro, I had to. I mean, it is what it is. You guys were talking so much, and now you got what you deserved. I mean, you didn't want to play. You probably would have had a win. You probably would have beat us. So I mean, you can look to your stupid president, who again costs you points, who again does stupid shit for his own motives, and is why he's the worst president in the history of Serie A. And there's presidents that have done. I mean, if you want to listen to some good stories, listen to what's the channel?
Zamparini.
Well, yeah, that's even one, but Golazzo by I think James Richardson and what's his name? Anyways, Golazzo, check it out. Great podcast about the history of Serie A, different owners, players, stuff like that. But so you'll find some pretty wacky ones. But guys, I mean, what can you say? I mean, they didn't deserve it, and it's finally settled. Now we don't have to deal with that shit anymore. But I would have definitely liked to have seen it played. I'm not gonna lie. It's another test that we play against Lazio. We don't look good. We didn't look against Roma. So we really haven't had any tests. I mean, we lost to Barcelona, where I think they clearly outclassed us. And so what do we have really to base anything off of, right? So some good news, though. De Ligt will return to the full group of training from Thursday. He'll be available for the game against Cagliari. Again, I don't know if I want to rush him in after the Chiellini knock. Which is going to be worse than a knock now, apparently. Just why do we got to rush guys in? Like, everyone was like, no, don't worry, play him, it's fine. We have to, which we really didn't have to. We didn't have to play him against Ferencváros, and he played the whole game. And then in a fucking training, and then people are like, oh, he doesn't have the legs. It's like, no, well, he just had an injury. I thought he was supposed to, I don't know, maybe I read this wrong, but I'm pretty sure he needed an extra week. It was supposed to be an extra week he was out. Then all of a sudden, because Demiral was a dumbass and gets the fucking red card, which he was a dumbass. I don't give a everyone was talking about the first, I'm not going to get into that again. He shouldn't have got the red card. So now we're forced to either play Chiellini or play with 2 fullbacks. It's just ridiculous. I mean, we should have easily put Bonucci, Danilo, and Quadrado if we had to with Frabotta. And Frabotta showed in that last game. There's no against Lazio. There's no reason why we shouldn't play him. So again, we risk Chiellini, and sure you could say, well, he could have picked that up in training again. He could have. But he would also had less than 90 minutes of football, having to play. And it's just obvious. There's too many times where we rush guys back and then they get re-injured and everyone's like, well, why did he get injured again? It's like, well, it's kind of obvious. I mean, like he wasn't ready. So we do a lot of stupid things. So hopefully we don't do that with De Ligt. I mean, if I hear there's an injury with De Ligt, I'm probably going to go off on social media because it's just ridiculous. I mean, you have a full training staff. So who's allowing these things to happen? I mean, sure, they know more than we do, but like at the end of the day, it's like it's the same things happening over and over again.
Yeah, it's been years.
So,
right?
you know, we talked about it with Allegri. We talked about it with Conte. Well, Conte we knew because he was running the players into the ground. Allegri, there was somehow J Medical was like turned into a thing. And no one knew what the fuck was going on because they were like, how are we getting all these injuries? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then there's like times where we had to play Emre Can and Paduin and even Sturaro and some like, why are these guys all getting injured? And now it's just continued on through Sadi and it's continued on through Pirlo. And it's like, you guys keep getting it wrong. Fix it. Like, fix your shit. But then we get Bernardeschi playing for the national team. And that's going to be an interesting topic that we'll get into. But there's been some new. We'll keep going through the news. We'll talk. We're going to have some major topics to kind of get into to bide our time. But there's been a lot of news on Dybala leaving. There's been a lot of news on Ronaldo leaving. Again, it's the international break. Tuttosport confirms, though, that Cristiano nor Juventus want to part ways at the end of the season. I'm not sure if that's 100% true. But CR7 wants to stay and win the Champions League. Sure. I mean, I want to win the Champions League every year.
Everybody.
That doesn't mean it's going to happen. So, I mean, that's kind of a stupid thing to say. But again, the rumors keep swirling. Fabrizio Romano went onto a podcast stating that there's nothing advanced from Man U or PSG. He will honor his contract. Okay. And since 2018, there was no indication that he wanted to leave. So that's kind of from Fabrizio Romano. So take that maybe with a little bit of a heavier a spoon of salt than you would otherwise. But it is what it is, right? Like, these guys don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say any of these guys are better or worse, Momblano or Romano or Agressi. I mean, it doesn't matter. They don't know shit till it really starts heating up. And that's just facts. They're going to hear as much bullshit. And if they choose to report it, that's their prerogative, right? I mean, I'm guessing he was asked, right? Like, it's been brought up. So he's going to say what he knows and that's it. But to say they know, I mean, again, another talking point. Pogba would have been signed in the summer if there's no coronavirus. Maybe. There was still apparently this option that Man U has. So it's not like we can get him for free anyways. So I don't know. There's a lot of news going on right now. Again, it is what it is. I can't remember who else said this, but there was a Neymar to Juve for Ronaldo. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. We can't pay for Neymar. We can barely pay for Ronaldo. I don't think we're paying for Neymar. And what's the deal, right? At the end of the day. Alexandro apparently will also have recovered and training with the group, so that's nice. Again, I don't want to see overplaying or starting out too quickly because we have the players that can step in. Because Chiellini's going to be at least out for 6 months for a month, and that's going to probably equate to 6 games. So again, we'll see what happens. Bernardeschi scored a goal in the Italy Estonia game. Holy shit, what a miracle. Morata provided an assist, and Ronaldo scored a goal and an assist in a beating of Andorra where he started from the bench. I guess they really needed him to come on to secure the victory.
It was
But
in doubt a
anyways,
little bit.
yeah, it was in doubt. It
Just a
was
little bit, a little shred.
at 3 or 4, it was in doubt. So they're like, well, let's bring him in.
Insurance.
Weston McKennie also played his a pretty good game from what I was hearing against Wales. Americans, I'm never gonna like literally what you guys have been doing with these like stances against whatever, not singing the anthem is a crock of shit. And if you're a player and you're standing on the line there and you're like not singing your national anthem, then don't even wear the jersey. If you think that your team is somehow going to change things, I mean, I look at the NBA and they literally boycotted for 2 days. They boycotted for 2 days. Let that sink in. The millionaires realized that the money was not going to be there anymore. So they're like, let's talk to Obama. Let's see what he said. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's better for you guys to play and you get to keep your money. Okay. Go back after 2 days. Great boycott, millionaires. Great boycott. So now all of a sudden the American national teams, they want to flip the women's team wants to flip their jerseys inside out because they agreed to a contract that they literally now don't like. Could you think about that? You signing a contract and then saying, you know what, guys, I don't really like, we're not getting as paid as much if we didn't go the other way. So now we're going to cry about it. And then you have the men's national team going, okay, we're going to put all these slogans, which is fine, but we're not going to sing our national anthem, which I think is one of the biggest disgraces ever. I mean, you look at the Italian national team, just come on. Like, that's unifying. That's passion. That brings people together. Not singing your national anthem divides. It doesn't do anything to bring anyone together. No one's watching that and being like, yeah, let's rally around not being patriotic and not like believing in our country. I don't know. That's my 2 bits on that. But Ramsey's likely to miss the game against Cagliari, but possibly against Ferencváros in the midweek. So that's good. Again, we were thankful with even though that there was doubt that Rabiot was going to be hurt, it looks like he isn't. So that's good news. And Ramsey coming back, that's also good news. But now Bonucci's picked up something. So he's going to miss both games. It's an abductor injury. So, yeah, that's not happening against Poland. He's gone back to Torino. Obviously, our great medical team is going to now look at him. And there was also a little bit of doubt because of Vida in Croatia. He tested COVID at halftime. Now, what's your thoughts on this? How does this happen? Like, we get a player who comes in and doesn't get his test results till halftime, which were positive.
So like, is it just that it's like they're slow in getting the results back, and then all of a sudden
that means no. Like, if you don't get the results back, that's a no play. Like, that could have risked. Like, thankfully,
but they would have. Sorry, go ahead.
Thankfully, it was like, sure, he's gotten a negative, but hopefully that wasn't a false negative. Because there's definitely false positives, false negatives. Yeah. These tests aren't perfect. So, I think that's just horrible protocol. If he doesn't know he's positive or negative and you're kind of in doubt and he's taking a test, why the hell are they playing the game?
Yeah.
Like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. This is,
you put 2 teams where a lot of those players are playing in Europe, and what, now you just have 2 teams getting knocked out because like you're not testing before the game. Mm-hmm. Like, that's ridiculous. That should have never happened. According to Corriere Torino, or Locatelli in January. Again, some more news. And then the Sergio Ramos in the summer. That's kind of what I really wanted to get into. Now, all of a sudden, Juve fans are willing to play $12 million a year because we think we found the answer. We found the second coming of the Messiah. The first coming was Ronaldo. Now the second coming is Sergio Ramos. But yeah, I think people need to. I wish Twitter would give us longer, like more than one pinned tweet. and more than one, like a longer bio, because I would love for people to just post hated Dybala, wanted Ramos, whatever, wanted this player, wanted that. Like we need to have our like actual like opinions like listed out, so that when we go back and we hear like, you know, like lots of fans, you know, basically the Allegri flip floppers. We have, you know, the Ronaldo fanboys, the Dybala fanboys. So we can, when I come back and I be like, oh yeah, that's right, boom, right there, because literally the same people that are gonna want Ramos are gonna like freak. They're gonna freak out when he gets a knee injury, which is, you know, prime age that he's at. Everyone's like, oh yeah, like yeah, he's gonna fit in so well in the mentality. It's like, what mental? Like I don't know. Do people think that it was mentality that actually was the reason why Real Madrid won? It wasn't that they had this ultra talented team. Like I'm so,
completely stacked. I don't
I honestly
understand what
don't
the
like. We're waiting like this Ronaldo like mental. Like go back and watch the Spezia game. What mentality are we talking about? Like, is it because he picked it up a little bit, like the pace of the game? Like, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, it's
you gotta be, you're killing me, man. Like, I don't know what these fans are watching. Like, the mentality hasn't done anything.
nope.
Like, we played against Leon and looked like absolute trash. So what boost was there? You know,
Yeah,
what
zero urgency,
like
zero urgency
what
through the
boost?
entire 90-minute.
You know, look at Ajax, the games against Ajax, and like Juventinita, you guys. I think we're going down too many levels. Okay, we were so far above everybody, and now all of a sudden, like our just demeanor, like we're coming back down to this level. Like they're still talking about the 3-0 comeback. I'm like, is that a trophy? Like, do we got to put that on a trophy now? Like 3-0 comeback against Atletico, and that can go in the trophy in the fucking museum. Like, is that what we're really coming down to? Like, I'm sorry, like, good. It was a good match. Like, it was a good achievement, but like, move on.
What
Move the
became of
fuck
it?
on.
Nothing became of it.
You know,
We
like,
lost
and
Ajax.
that's my main point. It's like we get into these moments as fans where, like, what is there to be hyped about? Like, there's nothing to be hyped about that moment. We lost. We look like absolute. Now, if that happens and then you go on to win the tournament,
Then it's
okay,
something, a
that's
turning
fine.
point,
But you
right?
didn't win shit. Like,
It's a small club mentality.
well, it
It's not a
is.
champion's mentality.
It really
So
is. And I mean,
don't
like I said,
praise mediocrity.
well, that's facts.
Like
I mean,
fuck.
it is what it is. You want to be, you want to have these sayings and these mottos, and then you want to use them only when you, okay, yeah, sure, we won the game, but we lost the fucking, we were out. We
What
were
was
out in
the
the next
thing?
round.
The promo that
Oh,
they had all over Twitter for
ready
the
to get
Atletico.
back, ready to come back.
Yeah, and then didn't they use it again? Or was it against Leon? They used it or no? Am I imagining? They
I don't think they were. I don't think they were that stupid. I don't think they used the ready to come back in that
it
one.
was something about the
But
comeback, whatever.
but they, I know they did like some
So cheese
montage.
ball,
Oh yeah,
cheese ball.
that's all we hire at Juve is you know, I'm sure that's a nice overpaid department that likes to just throw out random crap
The Department of Fromage. That's it. Just
because.
gross.
So that's my thoughts on that. I had to throw that in there, but like, guys, it's not a trophy. Like, stop bringing it up. Just stop bringing it up. Like, what are you achieving by bringing that moment up? I guess people are happy about that season, the way it ended, because yeah, like I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. But let's get back into it. Pretty much the same. Let's see, what else have I missed? Nikola Milenkovic, another possible key, with talks with obviously a Chiellini replacement. So we'll see what happens on that front. There's also been talk about Hakan Çalhanoğlu on a free transfer. I don't know if I'm necessarily happy about that. DePaul's kind of talked, you know, there's been more kind of, he wants to play in Champions League, he said. So Those rumors are heating up. Bernardeschi was, trying to leave. His entourage are saying. Now his entourage is saying he doesn't want to leave. And he'll only talk about his future at the end of the season. So that's great. Then Calcio Mercato comes out with the Bernardeschi Milik exchange. Beautiful. So yeah, that's about it. Cristiano started and played against France. Rabiot started for France against Portugal. Kulusevski scored in his game against Croatia. That was nice to see. And again, he just drives those goals. He drives to the net. I know he was in the middle of the park when that happened, but he definitely just needs to be on the wing. Like that's just facts. I mean, coming in, give him the ball, and just go at defenders. And he's been able to score on a lot of those chances where he's had that option. Let's see, what else do we got? David Alaba, again, he's not going to renew his contract. Could leave on a free. We're in the race. Yada yada yada. Oh, Dybala contract news, guys. We're 5 million short between his demands. So let's keep hearing about how you guys don't think he deserves 15 million, which again, okay. And that's, I think, about it for news. We'll get into these kind of major topics because I think they are important. Bernardeschi, let's start with that one. What the hell is the national team doing that Juve isn't doing? I mean, we've played
the 10.
Well, that's actually another thing we should talk about.
I think that's it.
What does the 10? What does the 10 even mean anymore? What does it even mean? Like, it all started back in, what year was that? 2014, 15? Was it the summer where we gave Pogba the 10?
Oh, and no, 14. Tevez still had the 10 at that point. It was when Tevez left that they gave it to Pogba.
At the end,
15, 16.
Was it 15, 16?
15, 16, yeah. When they first had Adidas, right? Because it was like, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because Adidas was all over it, right?
So we give him the 10. That lasted fucking brilliantly. One season and done. Then we give it to Dybala. Now, I think he's done a lot better holding that number. But then you look at the national team, and it's been like Insigne, it's been Bernardeschi. Like, guys, you don't need to give the number out. Like, there's no rule saying you have to play with someone wearing the 10. One, it should only be used in tournaments. I think if you don't have a guy that's standout that deserves the number, it shouldn't be used. And actually, even in tournaments, it shouldn't be. If you don't have a guy who you think is one of those players that, represents the number in the way it has in the past with Baggio, Totti, Del Piero, etc., there's no reason to be giving that number out. I mean, it's literally meant nothing. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it was. Maybe we got to strip the 10 from Dybala, and give it to Bernardeschi. And now all of a sudden, he's going to turn from the concierge or the guy who gives out beers at the game. He's going to turn into a superstar now, I guess.
That's it.
I mean, we've put him in all the positions. I don't know what else the guy needs to do. I don't know. I don't know if Mancini's telling him maybe to play more direct and like just attack defenders instead of or cut in and instead of just being that kind of coming back to retrieve the ball and making really stupid decisions and playing 10 minutes straight and then making 10 stupid decisions right after you've played well. I don't know. He just needs a new place. Like I don't know,
a new fresh start probably.
And I don't know why fans find it so difficult to say that. I mean, I know they say it about Dybala like a billion times. But the guy that obviously hasn't had a good season, literally 10 goals in 3 seasons. Okay, maybe 11 if you want to count this one for Italy, or what if you want to count as goals for Italy, whatever. But 10 goals in 3 seasons. I don't know what there's more to say. Like, that's it. Look, you can go look it up. If you don't believe me, go look it up. It's 10 goals, 3 seasons. So I don't know.
It's
What are your thoughts, man?
No, he's got to go. He's got to. How much did they pay for him? But he was like the
I think it was
most.
like 30 or 40. No,
It was
30.
the most expensive signing of an Italian for Juve, right, or something. It was some kind of a. It was a
Could have
stat
been.
that I didn't
It could have been.
believe.
It could have
That I
been.
didn't believe, but
I would say it was
yeah,
around 30, 40 million.
Yeah, he's not. He. I don't
If it
think
was
he's
fair,
ever gonna
if
find his. I don't know, Fiorentina form. I don't know. With Juve,
it's
he's not gonna be what they want him
yeah,
to become. So I
no,
think the best, go to Napoli or go. I don't know, go abroad, go to Atletico Madrid, go somewhere else.
yeah.
And I think there maybe somewhere else he can probably get back into it, but it's not
I,
happening at Juve.
I think it comes down to just being used regularly. I mean,
That
sure,
too,
you're gonna have
consistently in
have
one position.
moments, and that's another big reason of why I see Ronaldo as being a problem. Like guys are not gonna have the opportunity when you have to play a guy every game.
Yeah,
So, and now
yeah.
we bring in Kulusevski and we bring in Chiesa, and that doesn't help. I mean,
Like, was there? Sorry,
go
there was
ahead.
something in Ronaldo's contract, right, where he said he can only play on the wing. He won't play center forward, or he was not in his contract, but it was like a big thing for him.
Well, I don't think it's been
Right?
in his contract. I think it's just been
No,
well known.
like
It's just
yeah,
been
but
well
he's
known.
refusing to play center forward, right? So I don't know why they thought it was a good idea, like what you said, to invest in more young wingers when you know, like
No,
what you just
exactly.
said, you've got Ronaldo. Like it doesn't, and then you just let your wing backs just wither away
Well,
because
and
you've got nobody.
I don't think Quadrado should be in there, right? Like
Yeah,
I think Quadrado is also a winger. So like
he is. Yeah,
You have him,
but he's
Kulusevski, and you have Bernardeschi, and you have Chiesa, and Ronaldo's not going out of there. So literally, you got four guys for one position.
yep.
Um, so we've been lucky that we've been able to use Quadrado as a right back because that kind of alleviates one guy, and then but no, I like when I was hearing the rumors about Chiesa, I was like, okay, well Bernardeschi's going for sure then. Like
Yeah,
there's no way we're keeping the guy. And then
yeah.
we did. So it's like, okay, well, now you're creating more problems. And again, like, I don't know if it was commentators in the last game, but they were like, the only one who's adapt or no, I was listening, I think it was the Serie A. And love the show, love the guys. I've been watching for a long time. They kind of have been off the, they've been busy with life, understandable. But they were saying Ronaldo's the only one who's like can play all over the pitch, and I'm like, since when? He literally was crying that he was put up as a striker, as a center forward, and now all of a sudden we're saying he's like the only multifunctional, when literally Dybala's been asked to go like up, down, left, right, and center, and so I was taken aback by that comment. I'm like, you sure about that one? Okay. When it's like, well, Dybala can only play a certain way. It's like, well, sure, he's better in a situation, just like Ronaldo's better in a situation. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that kind of makes sense. Um, but like I said, for team news, I mean, we got to find this. We still have to find this best way to attack, and we have to find this best way to defend. And I think the way Pirlo wants it, it's not conducive when you have a guy who is not really going to track back. Plus, you
Mm-hmm.
have fullbacks that are playing way too far out. They're playing way too high risk.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have midfielders who are also going up there and making runs. And then you're like, well, why isn't Dybala, well, yeah, because you got two midfielders who are going to make runs whenever they want. You got Quadrado who's not going to come back. He's going to come back once in a blue moon. Frabotta was actually kind of making his way back, but still I've seen him in positions where he was starting to go up, and it's like, well, who do we have? Three guys? So what is it going to be, 3-on-5 every time?
Mm-hmm.
3-on-5
Yeah,
every time.
that'll be all right.
So I don't know. That needs to be sorted out. We need to play more like a team. So and I'll go out and say this: Juve won't win a Champions League until we play like a team. So if that means Ronaldo's not going to be on the team, that has to be said. That has to be
Mm-hmm.
thought of. I mean, we got to get back to it. You know, we've been to like as much as everyone wants to shit talk us on losing 2 finals, we've been to 2 finals with lesser squads.
Yep.
So what does that tell you? I mean, that says it all to me. Like, sure you can say we overachieved, but every team that's won has played like a team. Like, I'm sorry, the argument that Ronaldo is the answer, and then we get these like, oh well, why isn't Juve spending more? Like, it's like, sure, Agnelli can just be like, yeah, I want this guy in, that guy in, that guy in, this guy in, bring him in, fullbacks in. Don't worry about the financials. Don't worry. Like, is there not any common sense at all anymore?
No.
Like, I don't know, Max. Like, it's and then you hear all these rumors, and now you're getting fans' hopes up. Oh, we're gonna bring this guy, we're gonna bring that guy. It's like social media is just and I know some people have actually left because they can't take it for personal reasons. Unfortunately, I don't have that option. I can, I've had a couple. It's been nice having this break. I'm not gonna lie. But we'll see what happens. I think Bernardeschi's a lost cause. I think we need to find a solution as soon as we can. Another solution that we need to figure out. A certain number 6 who is on his own. There's been talk because of the midfield, going down. Rabiot was potentially scheduled to be returned to Torino to get checked. Obviously, that's not the case. Hopefully, Ramsey can come in. Artur looks like he's doing a lot better. He's played for the Brazilian national team. So hopefully that's not an option. But should he have been given another chance? Well, what are your thoughts, Max?
I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent to it. Like,
well, I think you commented on my post, right? And I was like, I have a better idea. Run him off a cliff. I mean, that's my thoughts.
No, like, he's getting paid. So you know what?
Yeah.
Like, run him into the ground. Why not? And it sounds like an asshole thing to do, but like, if he gets injured and he hurts his value like next year when he's trying to get a new contract or something, well, that's too bad.
Yeah, like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Do you see him adding anything to this team? Like, honestly speaking,
he's slow. He's very slow. Like, maybe, you know what? Maybe like if he plays like where Ramsey's playing, same sort of role.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You mean like just honestly, just like on the offensive end of the ball?
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, honestly, like, why not? What has been good so far? So you might as well just start throwing things at the wall and see what sticks. Because
I'm thinking of just permanent. Now that you said that, actually, I'm thinking quite the opposite. I'm thinking you just stick them in the what would that be, the little the half circle there at the top of the box.
Okay.
Just tell them to stand there all game and literally tackle anything in his sight. Make sure it's not in the box. Because literally, if you play him as a mezzala, he's for sure not. If he's making runs in the attacking end, there's no way in hell he's coming back to the defensive end. So so we're already lacking defensively.
It'd be a liability, yeah.
So that doesn't change it. So even if he does make runs, we're still running into the same problem. Because we're not going to get midfielders who are going to be able to come back, when the need is, if a fullback goes up and tries to contribute in the attack. So there's one problem. So yeah, just stick them in the defensive half and just be like, sweep. Just tell them to sweep from box end to box end. Just sweep. I mean, what's the distance? What's the size of a box? I'm sure it's not that big.
What is that?
I'm sure it's not that wide. I'm sure he can run from that end, from the edge to edge. I'm sure he can run. It's not even the full width of the pitch. So I'm sure he can run between edge of the box to edge of the box. And that's it. And you have him like a fourth CB. And that's all you can do. Because, I don't know, some people are like, well, the vision and is a pro and is the tactics. It's like, he doesn't. because he can't.
I
Like,
don't know. He scores goals.
think about it. If you know the game, right? Let's say you have the best mind in the world, right? Look at even Pirlo, right? When he was coming to, his legs were going, right? You could have the best knowledge of the game, but if your body can't get you there, what does it matter? You could know rocket science, but if you're not in a company that makes rockets, who cares? Like it to me, that aspect is just, those intangibles don't make up for how much he's lacking physically.
Yeah.
And then again, how long does that last you, right? So you have him there, and then he plays like 4 or 5 games. What did he play? 8 games at the beginning of last season. Everyone thought he was the second coming of God. And then, as usual, he goes back into his regular routine of getting injured and being done for the rest of the season. So
yeah, I don't think
but I
if
get
he
what
does
you're
play,
saying.
he's not going to be used. He's not going to be used regularly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see him being used regularly. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you got him, play him.
Just pay him.
That sounds
Just,
gross.
honestly, just
No,
pay him.
no.
Just give him the money
Ugh.
already. I want to pop the champagne. It's been too long. Like, it really is. Like, just give him his money. Let him go to MLS or wherever the hell he's got to go. China. I don't know. But just let him go. It's just, to see the guy still show, to know that you're not wanted, and
And
to
to
be
still
like,
stay.
you know what, guys, I'm still gonna collect my paycheck, and then to somehow think that's respected. Like, I know people were like, well, why are you giving him shit? I'm like, no, he can go collect his money if he wants. He signed the contract. But there's no reason why I have to give him 1 ounce of respect at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the writing's on the wall. Like, if you don't want to contractually help the team out, well, then really, did you give a shit about the team in the first place? That's my thought. Like, if you're in a situation where you've barely played the last 3 years, you've gotten 6 million for all 3 of those years, you're sitting on $18 million, and the club's like, we'll give you 3 and you can go find a new team, or we'll give you 2.5, whatever. You just ran out like a bandit with 20 million. And you're like, nah, I need that 24. I need that 24, bro. Sorry, you signed the deal. Fuck's sakes, man. Honestly, just ship them out. It's just like, just give them the money. Bye. Just go. But we get into the beautiful social media. And yeah, guys, like, I don't know what else do you guys want to see? That's something I've been thinking about. We got a lot of things in the work. We got merch in the works. We got, hopefully a daily show that's going to come out in the morning. Hopefully a Saturday night show that's in the works. But if there's anything else you guys want to see, let me know. I think it comes down to, and if there's anyone who wants to collaborate, like literally, like yourself, Max, or anyone else, if you have an idea, let's make it work. Let's put it out there. I think there's a lot of guys I would love to have permanently on this program, and I hope to make it happen. But guys, if you want to come on, even Ronaldo fans, like I said, reach out. I honestly, I don't bite. We'll have the tissue box ready if need be. But yeah, let's just have a conversation. Really, let's have a conversation. That's all it is for me. And then the international break. What are your thoughts? Does it need to be cut from now until Euros? Should we even have the Euros? What needs to happen? Because I didn't think we should have had this break.
No, at this rate, considering how everything's rising in Europe, there's no purpose why you're going to take players from all over.
Yeah.
Or even like sending them off to South America. So to play for Argentina, to play for Brazil, like all this travel, all this interaction, you're just setting yourself up for more cases. And then you bring it back, then you've got cases in your own club. There are players sitting out. we still don't know the long-term effects after COVID. Like we've got Dybala, who obviously isn't at his best. We have like Ronaldo. I don't know. We'll see. I guess he seems all right.
He's got to
But
break the record, bro. He's got to break the
yeah,
record. So
but
now we know already
like
for sure is happening.
it's gotta. I think it's gotta be next until I guess the Euros, and then do the Euros this year. But this
Yeah,
right now
it's
it
getting
can't
chaotic.
happen.
It's getting
It
chaotic
just
with these lockdowns, and I know it's happening for your province, my province, the states. Who knows what's going to happen there with the election that happened? Are they going to go back into lockdown? They have record numbers. Europe record numbers again, massive numbers actually. I think
yeah,
Italy
it's
came. I think Italy came back into the upwards of 1 million. I think just recently, so they're back in the top whatever 5, 10 nations with cases. I mean, that's a tough decision. Now, does that mean we shut everything down again? I think that was definitely a possibility. I know I talked about it in the Napoli. Some of the reasons why I thought the game should have been postponed, but what it depends what you want to risk, right? I mean, at some point we're gonna have to get over this one way or another. I know there's been
yeah.
talks of vaccines. I know everyone's been kind of hesitant. Do we want to do them or not? Do we want to take them or not? I mean, I'll leave that up to you guys. I'm not gonna tell you. Let's get this done to get it over with. Mentally, I think everybody's going through it, especially me. Not being able, I don't think I've gone on a proper vacation this year at all. Just because one, not having the money and having to work and being laid off, and I think that's really done my head in. Been a couple days away here in the mountains, but not even really the same. When you have to book your 1 hour session at the pool because
Hmm.
that's the new regulation. Um, yeah, it's a fucked up time. And I think, like I said, with businesses, there's a lot that's gonna come of this. I mean, I think there's a lot of naive, people losing jobs, people not, they're not gonna, it's not gonna go back to normal. The money's
Hmm.
just not gonna pop up out of once the vaccine's done. It's not gonna be like, hey, we can all go back to living our lives again. There's gonna be a lot of permanent damage.
Hmm.
Physically, biologically in our bodies, and socially, economically.
Yeah.
That's with these teams, who's are there teams that are not going to be able to recover for this? That's kind of something we got to think about. But we'll get the heavy, and we'll get back into the more bullshit fan talk. But I do hope everyone's doing. I do want to say I hope everyone's doing okay. I hope everyone's families are doing okay, and just stay safe. Wear a mask. Even if you don't necessarily agree with it, if you're gonna go at least in public to like stores and stuff like that, wear a mask. Um, and then do what you want. I mean, gyms, I think it's kind of a stupid idea to wear a mask in a gym, but you know, it's getting colder. Do what you think is possible, but definitely have some respect for your fellow people. Even if you don't necessarily believe in the mask, I think the lockdowns are a horrible idea. When the WHO, who's been wrong on everything, comes out and is like, yeah, we have literal like facts that lockdowns are like the last available measure, and that's really, it's not even to stop the virus, it's to like give you breathing room, to like provide more PPE and to like manufacture more ventilators and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with, so anyone under the impression that like a lockdown is going to somehow be like, yeah, we're going to stop coronavirus instantly, that has been totally debunked. And everyone's like, well, believe the CDC, believe, these are the main people that are talking about it. There's the lockdown is literally to give you a breather in terms of getting ready and allowing the country that you're in to slow the numbers down to a manageable point where you can provide more care for people. So again, we got a long way to go with that. And yeah, like I said, I hope everyone's doing okay. And if you are doing okay, smash the like, smash the subscribe. If you've made it to this point, and I hope you've made it to this point, because and let us know in the comments. Let us know where you're from. Let us know any questions, comments, concerns. I love to hear it. Whether I agree or disagree, I'll comment. I mean, you'll check the last video, check the videos before. I have no problem saying my 2 bits, and I hope I do retain you guys. But because I hope we're not just sitting here, talking and no one's listening. But if not, it's a good conversation. And yeah, let's get into Dybala contract. So we hear the 5 million apart. What are your thoughts? Does he deserve the 15 million? Has he done enough? I know Juve Therapy did a great video comparing, the pros and cons. I still don't think there's this. I don't know. Everybody keeps talking about this mental issue. I don't know. I don't agree with that. Is it is the mental issue only when it's in the bad? Like, you think with someone who had this this massive issue that we're all talking, he's got a mental problem, would be through and through. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's turning it off when he has the confidence, and then all of a sudden he doesn't have like if you want to say he's lost confidence in himself, okay, that's one thing. But to say he's mentally like inept at handling the pressure, like, I mean, how does that, like, I don't understand. The guy that's coming from the MVP season that literally carried our asses, whether you want to agree with that or not, you can throw out the same facts. I don't have time for Ronaldo fans. Like, it's the same argument. So it's literally the same thing, like copy paste. You go from one to another to another to another. It's the same thing. So I think he's had multiple seasons. I mean, 22 goals in his best season. And like I said, check out Juve Therapy, guys. He's about, I want to say, 22 subs from 1,000. So let's get him there. I think you'd really appreciate that. Get me to 100. I'm about 9 away from that. So I would also appreciate that. But yeah, like, what are your thoughts? Like, does he deserve the 15? Do you think some people are saying 7 to 8? And I'm like, okay, really? Like, that's kind of
8 million.
Yeah,
for him.
So I don't know.
No,
what do you think?
He's a double-digit mil for sure. So 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever. Pay him like he's 27 as of today.
Yeah.
Okay, like he's entering his prime years.
Yeah.
At the very least, like, okay, he's out of form now. He's gonna go back. It's not like, right? Like, I don't know. It's an investment. He deserves it. Reward him.
Yeah.
He's been underpaid for his impact.
You look at also, the amount of hate he's getting. And to me, if you're talking, and there was even an offer with Atletico Madrid that I forgot to mention. I believe it was Morata plus, I think, 35 or 40 million, somewhere around there. So that puts it at about 70 million total. I think Morata was like 40, or maybe it's 50. So you're looking at 90 total. But I mean, is that real? Is that media bullshit? Probably. But like, the worse he plays, okay, let's say you hate the guy's guts, right? The worse he plays, the less likely we're gonna get. I mean, I'm guaranteeing if teams were like, okay, we'll sell him for, if Juve's like, we'll sell him for 45 million, I guarantee you there's about 50 teams that would jump on that. If you said today, okay, guys, Dybala, we're gonna starting 45 million, we're gonna sell him, and people are like, yeah, I would sell him for 30, I'd sell him for 35, I'd sell him for 45 right now. Like, are you clueless? Like, are you serious? Like, for real? Like, I guarantee you there would be 50 clubs at our door begging to sign that deal.
Perspective, Chiesa was what, 40?
40. It will be, right? Approximately at that point. at the end of the when the transfer officially
Yeah,
becomes.
Like,
So
yeah.
I don't know, man. This to it, like
No,
literally.
you need to pay the man, pay the man. That's it. End of story.
So
Whatever.
yeah,
I'm sure it's just like what you were saying earlier. I don't know, before I guess we started. It's probably a lot of media hoopla, like from his side, from Juve's side, like
yeah. Well,
lowballing.
I think it's a bad precedent because that's also gonna weigh on the guy's head. You
Yeah.
know, like yes, it's not like we're talking where it's like one rumor or like one like it's a pretty big talking point in the media right now. So every time his agent leaves or whatever, every time he has a bad game, like I don't know if you saw the last game against Lazio, like literally the cameras on the or even in the Hellas or the Ferencváros, like the cameras on the guy every fucking moment. Like
Yeah.
it's not good. Okay, so put your hate to the side. Let's hopefully he can get. And if at the end of the point he parts ways, which I hope he doesn't, I think it's probably going to happen because again, there's no reason for them to have not gotten this deal done. No reason at all. They had plenty of time for a year and a half now, and they haven't got it done. So to me, I think the relationship's done. I hope I'm wrong. But I think there's too much of a gap, and I honestly don't think Juve really cares anymore. I think we're a business now. We're a we're a revenue builder, so they don't care. They have and
Yeah.
they have a big debt that they have to pay. It's not like that just gets erased overnight because we get rid of this guy, that guy, and the other guy. I think there's going to come to a point, and like I said, with these teams getting into trouble, 15 teams that are in trouble, you're not going to see these Plus Valenza deals happening forever because teams are going to go bankrupt. So we can't rely on that consistently and think that's just going to always, in June, it's always going to work itself out. To me, that's not the case. So again, I hope we can sign him. Max, I think do you have anything left to touch on that?
I mean, like, think about it this way. They wanted him out. They were kicking him to the curb. He stayed.
Yeah.
He gave his all.
I
He
don't know.
gave you a Scudetto last season. So, and also for me, this is a thing. Like, he obviously loves the club.
Yeah.
I think he's kissed the badge. You know who hasn't kissed the badge? Roro. CR7.
Didn't come out of my mouth.
I don't care. Like, think about your club for a second, people. Okay, and like just like a symbol, a club symbol. Okay, like Dybala.
I
That's
don't
just
think it
for
matters
me.
anymore.
I don't know.
I honestly
I know it
I
doesn't
don't
matter. People don't care. Nobody seems to care. But like to us, that means something, right? And that should mean to you a lot to Juve fans. So I don't know.
like I was saying before, and I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast or not, but everyone was talking, well, yeah, Real Madrid, or we're gonna get Ramos, and so now we got Ronaldo, now we got Ramos. Well, the only last thing is to change the name and the logo. So you might as well just turn it into Real Madrid. I mean,
Yeah.
like we're in this new generation, and it's not gonna change. So I mean, we can sit here and bitch about it all we want.
Yeah, I know.
But like the fans are the young fans, and I mean, I even notice a lot of older fans are just like, yeah, we got to win this thing. It's like, okay, sure, you want to win the Champions League, but it's like, one, you got to get there. One, you got to be lucky. And two, you got to have a team. And it's, to me, there's more to it. I mean, there's more to it in your losses than there is to your wins. I mean, you know who people really are when you lose than when you win. I mean, sure, everybody's happy when you win. You don't know But when you lose and you lose a game, you really know who really gives a shit and you really know who doesn't give a fuck at all. And how it happens is you have these CR7 fanboys that literally have admitted that they're Madrid fans.
Mhm.
Almost got one to say he was a Merda fan. But like literally to come up and pick about, this, as soon as I start hearing you haven't won in 20 years, blah, 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 blah. We won 3. Ronaldo has more Champions Leagues than you. Literally, it's like, what are you here for? Like, if all you're here for is personal rec, and like people go on and like, yeah, well, like that's all it's about. It's like, no, that's not what it's all about. If that's all it's about. Go ahead, go cheer for Real Madrid then. Go cheer for the best team every year, and you'll never be disappointed. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, I don't know. Like, if you want to win all the time, like if Juve were to lose a Scudetto, I mean, it is what it is. You know, we're gonna lose eventually.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. I hope it's not this year. Like I said, I know some people are like, you know what? I think this is the time for Juve to lose. I don't want it to be in the 10th year. I really don't.
I know. It would probably do some good, though.
I would rather have us lost last year's than this year's. Because now we're at 10. It's like you can't.
So it's like, why not?
Yeah, it's like you
Why
can't
not?
fuck that up. Like if you're gonna go for 10, you gotta go for 10. And then if 11 we lose, whatever, fuck it.
I know. I thought at the beginning of the season that.
So if it was like even like 6, 7, or 8, whatever, we lost. Okay, that would have been a good lesson. But now that we're at 10, like this one, you gotta go harder than any, and then because no one's done this. You know, this is an unprecedented achievement. I mean, we're a long ways away from getting there. It's not like we're a shoe in right now. We're in 5th spot. Okay, behind teams that are playing probably a lot better than we are. So you could argue that are playing a lot better than we are and have played a lot tougher opponents. I mean, sure, we have Champions League to use as, you know, we have to, but look, Roma's in the Europa League, so they have an extra game to worry about closer than we do every week. You have Milan that's in Europa League. You have Merda who's in Champions League, Atalanta's in Champions League, and Napoli who's also in Europa League. So there's extra games to be played as of now. I mean, what happens in a couple months? Okay, we'll find out who gets knocked out and who advances. But no, I think we got to push for this one. I'd be disappointed. I'd be really disappointed if we lost right before the 10th. And again, I think a lot of us are looking, you know, in the wrong direction. Pirlo's been pretty stubborn. That's kind of the last thing I want to talk about before we end. And I think it's been a pretty good casual chat we've had. You know, just recapping stuff, guys, talking about some familiar topics and, you know, having another opinion on the show. So what have your thoughts been about Pirlo? Because I think the reason why a lot of players are getting scapegoated, like the Dybalas, like whoever, right? Ramsey gets talked a lot with his injuries. I've made comments. But is it just because we don't want to go to blaming Pirlo right away? Like we think it's too early? Is that what your thoughts on that are? Because I think he's made a lot of mistakes so far.
Yeah, I think Pirlo is something untouchable in the memories of Juve fans, right?
Yeah,
maybe
true.
I don't know. Rose-colored glasses. So I feel like that's why there's that they're hesitating to actually pin some of the blame on him. Like nothing he said at the beginning of the season. And I know we're only 7, 8 games in. I don't even remember. Is it 8 games? We're 8 games in.
I think we're about 10.
10?
10 total.
10 games. Jeez. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm counting Champions League. Yeah. So, right?
Yes.
Like nothing has really come to fruition. What he was saying in terms of style, I don't know. Like in terms of who he suggested to the board, like you said, Locatelli was someone they were looking at. Like, was that something he recommended? Did he not get the players he needed for this system?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like there's always been that disconnect between the coach and the management. But I feel like some of the blame right now for the way things are going lies with Pirlo. Like,
Yeah,
just
like
the some of his choices, like
subs.
for subs.
Yep.
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, go ahead, man. No,
Yeah.
no, like you said it
No, no, no.
perfectly.
No, like just yeah, really, it's man management. Like when you're putting on your subs, who you're putting in. Why is Bernadeschi going in? I don't
Yeah,
like
subbing too late. Then he got that.
yeah,
Then it seemed like he fixed that, but then it seemed like the team wasn't really like up for the game. So it's just like it's consistent, like revolving door of the same kind of issues that keep coming up. Like, okay, well, he fixed kind of went to sub guys, and then okay, now and then Lazio game he was really late to sub, but then but then his tactics seemed to be telling the guys, okay, let's sit back and defend the lead on a 1-0
yeah,
because you really didn't see any pressing at all. And everyone was like, Dybala didn't do anything for 20 minutes. And it's like, well, the whole team was fucking parking the bus. So
yeah,
I don't know what you
yeah.
guys saw. So it's like, then you see that and you're like, okay, that's a bad man. And then he's talking about injuries and not having enough players, but then saying that's not an excuse. And it's, he's so stubborn with this three at the back. And we know we don't have
Like
we
yeah.
know we don't have the defenders to play three at the back. And sure, Danilo's been a bright spot, but I mean, you don't have the players to play three at the back. So why do we keep doing it? I don't know why. Then he's doing two systems where I don't know why he's trying to make it so complicated. We don't need to attack one way and defend one way. Just make it simple. You either press and then once you lose the ball, everybody comes back, or like just make it that simple. Like it doesn't need to be, we have to do a 4-3, we have to do a 4-4-2 in defense and then attack with the fullbacks, but then we don't have any kind of recovery mechanisms where if a guy gets out of position, the midfielder knows to come back because we've literally gotten countered millions of times now. So I don't know. And the thing is, we had options. We had Pochettino, and that has experience. Some people could say we had Allegri to come back. I'm not saying I wanted that, but I'm just saying that's a possibility. We had even Conte technically as a possibility. We didn't take any of those options. So look, you got a guy with no experience. He had a hell of a playing career. And is this going to be the same thing we're talking about now? Because we talked about it with Saturday. So we said we looked at the board and we said, okay, this guy doesn't want to come. This guy doesn't want to come. This guy doesn't want to come. Okay, there's Sadi. Do we keep Allegri or do we go, okay, we're going to get rid of Allegri. Okay, go to Sadi. Okay, well, you made this decision. So like, there's no going back. Like, if we're playing this pennies game with like money, then really, I don't know what you can expect. Like,
Yeah.
You can't always expect to overachieve. Like that's just too much of wishful thinking. Because it's not gonna happen, and teams are gonna get better. They are gonna solve the puzzle one time. They might not fucking get it 99 times, but they'll probably get it that one time. And it's possibly looking like this is the year. I mean, teams are on a roll, but Juve's got there's definitely room for improvement. Like that's the thing that's pissing me off. It's like I can see kind of an end goal, but it's like every time we kind of start approaching that, something always comes back and kind of brings us like we're one step forward and then it's like two steps
back. Exactly.
Always. And I don't know. I mean, again, it's up to Pirlo. Like that's his job and his coaching staff. So we'll see what happens. I mean, big test against Cagliari at home, and then again back into the Champions League, and then it continues to roll. Weekend Champions League. So beginning, I want to say mid-December, we'll know where we are. We'll know where the Champions League lies. We'll know where we're sitting in the table. Again, Campione d'Inverno is coming up towards the end of December, so we'll see. Yeah. We'll see where we sit. Are we in reach? That's going to be what, about
Are they 4 points back?
Probably 10 games.
Let me check.
I want to say about 10 games where we'll be determining. I mean, 10 games. That's 30 points. So if we're back, 4 or 5 points, that could jump. So
I mean, I'm
again, it
looking at the
depends on what.
table
I
right
mean,
now.
optimistically, we should be close, or we should be leading. I think.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing. We'll play Atalanta at some point. We'll play, Benevento, Torino, Genoa. We'll finally play Milan and Merda.
When's
So
the Milan game?
I want to say it's in the new year.
Yeah, January, right? Yeah,
I want to say it's in the
from
new
what I
year.
remember. Yeah. So, that
So
game is gonna.
again, yeah. We'll see. We'll see, guys. Did you end up coming up with that memory? I know we asked you
Oh
before,
yeah. Sure. I got a good one today.
but I mean we don't do it all the time. But hey, if you got it, let's hear
It's
it.
not really just like a little quip, like a "Do you remember" one
Yeah,
for
no worries, man.
like. So this would have been, I guess, the first season after being promoted from Serie B. So 2007, 2008. It was
Yep.
Coppa Italia, and anytime Juve was playing Inter, it was like, you got to watch because you just want to see Ibrahimovic get hurt or something. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't wish ill on anyone, but like at that
Well,
point, I was pretty bitter. I don't know how you were.
oh yeah, you
You were
have to be. I mean, it's
so,
unprecedented times.
but even back then, so like there was a tie against Inter in Coppa Italia, the first leg, and I don't know how many of you remember, but they had Jean-Alain Boumsong as their center back, as one of their center backs. Juve was losing 2-0 in the first leg, and then Boumsong came on, I don't know, some point during the second half. And I just had a feeling I was watching in the I don't know, the health building, the health school building at McMaster on my laptop watching this terrible stream illegally, yes. And I had this feeling like Boomsong's going to score 2 goals. Boomsong scored 2 goals. It was amazing. And Boomsong was, nobody liked him.
Oh
Everybody
yeah.
hated him because in Newcastle he was like garbage. He was kind of like he's going to be the next big thing. He never panned out.
Yeah.
Garbage in Newcastle, and then like Juve got him when they were relegated
Well,
because
yeah.
Deschamps wanted him, right? But
Well, and what money did we have, right? I mean,
yeah,
you have all your stars going. Turam goes. Zambrotta left, and like again, it's those ties. That's why I mean it's a little bit different now, but because we've been winning the Scudetto so many years in a row. But yeah, like those ties meant everything. Like you just pray. You're like, even if you're
yeah.
like, you know what, even though this is the banter era, if we can just fucking knock those bitches off their podium, like
Mm-hmm.
I'll take
Yeah,
that. I would take
yeah.
because you didn't know when things were gonna come back, right? Like, I mean, who's to say that anyone knew it? Even when we did get the stadium 11, 12, that what was gonna ensue was what was gonna happen,
Yeah,
right? That's it. That's the history now. But
yeah. Like they were dark times, but
oh
like
yeah.
when things went well, like guys, it was
Oh, you got to remember, we got
the
second. What was it? Second
glory.
place. The second place the first year back.
Yeah, when we had
So
Ranieri, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Quinta and
But
Ranieri was
then
the
after
coach.
that, it was like
Um,
seventh, seventh, seventh,
well,
or like third,
Ferrara,
seventh, seventh.
Ciro Ferrara as coach. Possibly. Who was the other one with the Z? What's his
Oh,
name?
well, we had Zaccaroni, we had Del
Zaccaroni. It was
Neri.
Zaccaroni.
Del Neri, that was another great,
Oh yeah.
brilliant time. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's lots. Yeah, like that's what I mean. That's why a lot of people don't realize
Take this for
how.
granted, what we have now, right?
Yeah, and I just think there's certain fans who think the people that are criticizing like somehow want us to lose and like gloat in it. I think it's quite the opposite. I think the reason why people complain is because they realize how bad it was. And I mean, maybe this is just my opinion. You guys take it with whatever, with a grain of salt if you want. I mean, maybe you feel completely different than I do. But the reason why I think a lot of fans complain is because they know how shitty it's going to be when we do lose.
Mm.
Like when you do have a couple bad seasons and you're not getting better, like we know that's coming at some point potentially if we don't play things correctly. So it's like, okay, we see us not getting a midfield, we see us not getting fullbacks, and then we're just like, are they asleep at the wheel? Do they honestly think that this run is just going to last
Yeah.
to infinity with no improvements and teams getting better and maybe financially getting a little bit better? Look, if Milan gets a big sale to whoever, if they sell the club again and someone comes in who actually wants, like, I mean, even you look at the rumors of Louis Vuitton, I mean, that guy's fucking loaded. So
Mm-hmm.
that could completely change things around for certain clubs. So again, let's be happy with win. Like, no one's saying not to celebrate wins, but to be there and to sit there and be like, everything's fine, it's too difficult, and feel bad for the club. It's like, no, that's what they get paid to do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you got a job to scout or be part of the health team or look after the transfers or whatever the case may be, you can't just be like, oh well, it is what it is, guys, we couldn't find anyone. Like, that's your job, you get paid to do that. So I mean, I think fans are worried about what could happen, and partially the fear of slipping back into the banter is what they're like, what we're trying to like keep the club in check and be like, you don't realize how bad this could go into. I know you've been there, but you think this is all roses,
Mm-hmm.
and it could easily turn into shit emojis all over the place. So I don't know. That's just my take. I think that's why a lot of people complain. I don't think it's because they think that, oh, we got to keep winning and that's it, and spoiled and all that nonsense. I don't think that's what it is at all. I think it's more of a fear of being crap than a fear of
Mm-hmm.
being, yeah, oh, it's just another one, who cares? Oh, it's just another Scudetto, who cares? I don't think that's what it is. I honestly think there's a conscious effort on the fan base thinking, we know how bad it is. And I mean, I'm sure there's people out there, don't get me wrong, that like are like, oh fuck it, it's another Scudetto, oh, who cares? I think there's probably are fans out there. I
Yes.
think there's too much of a generalization to think that like anyone who has something negative to say about what's been done or a transfer or a tactic that's been used by Pirlo is like somehow thinking the world is ending. It's no, I mean, we want to say our piece and it is what it is. I think, why stop people from saying what they want to say when literally it's these devil's advocate warriors, I like to call them. They like to stay on the positive side of things. When we win, it's like, oh yeah, it's great, and when we lose, it's like, oh, it was difficult, or oh, we weren't lucky enough. It's like a win-win in all situations. It's like, put some skin in the game. you
Yeah.
know you know being able to lose and feel something and to feel bad is, it makes when you win feel so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know.
No,
That's my
that's
take.
100% correct.
When you're like sitting there on the fence going, wow, it was a difficult year. Wow, we had a tough Champions League draw. Wow, we had this. Wow, it's just like, well, why bother even watching the
Yeah.
games?
Yeah.
like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, it is what it
You
is.
need to feel something. Like,
So
Christ.
that's just my thoughts. Thanks, Max, for coming on. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me. Thank
It's
you.
been a great little bit of time here, and we'll definitely have you on in the future. That is for sure. Guys, thank you for watching. Again, smash the subscribe, smash the thumbs up. Let's get those numbers up, and I appreciate you guys, watching more and more of the show, at least in time. But yeah, if not on YouTube, check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcast, TuneIn, and wherever else you get your podcasts. I'm pretty sure we got them all lined up. If I haven't, let me know. We'll get that worked out for you. And yeah, drop us a line, comment, question, concern. That would be appreciated. I always get back to all of you guys. So let's have a good conversation. Hopefully, some good content in the next few days, and within a week of some new ideas and some new kind of concepts coming out. And yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think of this first couple designs that come out. I'm gonna kind of be spreading them out over DMs, and we'll see kind of what the reaction is. There's one design I'm still kind of thinking about because of a potential trademark issue, but I'll have to look into that a little bit more. But it's gotten really great reception, so that's kind of the good news. But the bad news is I'm not sure how we're gonna work it. But again, I'll have to look into some things. But that's something to stay tuned for. And again, we'll kind of keep you busy during this international break. I know it isn't really much to talk about. But we'll possibly talk about the Nations League. We'll possibly talk about some other. We'll get some fan talk about Ronaldo fans and oh, I do have to say congratulations to Robbie for getting the if you want to call him the moderator of juvefc.com. Finally got unblocked. Hallelujah. On both. So yeah, congratulations, man. Hopefully to have you on here for some content. Even personally, if you can't do it, business, if you're restricted in any way. But yeah, give them a shout out, give them a follow, guys. It's actually really nice to have someone as a Juve fan finally in there. And it just seemed like we were getting everybody, it was such a great day. Actually, that was actually before all the shit hit the fan. But literally, we were getting guys who were, not talking again. It was a good day. So guys, check them out. If you haven't, please follow back, because I can guarantee you it is a Juve fan that is running the page. And that's where I'm going to be getting my news there. Forza Juve, they hit 50,000. Congratulations to those guys over there. And Bianconeri Zone. So that's really where I hit, plus around Turin when I can. And yeah, keep it locked, guys. Drop some thoughts in the comments. Hopefully the guy stuck around for the second episode. I don't know. Was I that biased on Ronaldo today? I mean, maybe. You let me know. But yeah, guys. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Ciao, guys. Thanks for listening.